Hey everyone. Just wanted to go over some of the basics of the testing that we do here at Smoke and Research. So all of our tests are going to be run with Traeger Hickory pellets. This is to provide the most consistent result throughout these grills we test to give you comparisons and things like that. I have no connection to the Traeger brand or anything like that. It's just one of those brands of pellets that I feel like everyone out there will have access to. So that's kind of why we went with Traeger Hickory pellets. All of these test runs are going to start with an empty hopper and then 2 pounds of these hickory pellets that will weigh out on this scale here. So I'll get my 2 pounds of pellets. So there you go. That's what 2 pounds of pellets is going to be. And I'll take you guys over there so you can see the scale reading 2 pounds. So there's our 2 pounds of pellets. And from there, that's kind of where all of our base runs are going to start. We're going to have 2 pounds of pellets in the hopper off of an empty hopper. That way we can get the most consistent results when we're testing throughout all of these grills we're going to test. So now we got our pellets in the hopper. We're going to go ahead and close this down. Throw those last few in there. The other important thing I'm going to notate also is we're going to be reading our internal grill temperature here with a Fireboard temperature controller. So if any of you are familiar with the Yoder brand of pellet smokers, this is kind of the controller that they use and suggest. So for this test, we are going to run the Fireboard, just so you know where my temperatures are coming from. So we'll go ahead and set this up. So we'll turn that around and we'll magnetize that to the grill. So probe 1, or this guy here, is going to be our ambient temperature. So we're going to set this right over and let it hang down here at the bottom of the grill. That's going to give us the ambient temperature of what the temperature is outside. Other than that, we're going to open this up. Number 2 is going to be our top shelf. So I'll take my grate clip and we're going to put it right in the center of the top shelf, and that'll be our top shelf temperature. And then finally, we'll go ahead and take our third controller here. We'll put the temp probe in for our third, and we'll put it on our bottom shelf, kind of in the center of the grill there. So with that, we're going to have a lower grate level, top grate level, and then we'll have external reading down from down there below the grill. So we'll go ahead and get this shut up. I already got it plugged in, so we'll go ahead and flip it on. Oh, and we're going to fire it up to the smoke setting. So I'll let you guys watch. We'll kind of see how fast this grill is going to fire up, and we'll monitor it from there and see what the results are. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I went ahead and adjusted my frame rates a little bit. So I'm not going to be able to get the controller into view, but we're able to get the Fireboard there pretty good in view. So as you can see, the grill's reading about 156 right now. Our top shelf is 183, and the bottom shelf is running about 180. So we'll let you guys view that for a little bit, and we'll keep an eye on the pellets and see how fast we get through them. I'm going to give you the run time. My definition of run time, just so we're clear, is going to be when we first hit this first peak. So we're going to call that a 128 to the last peak, which is 436. So this last peak here, this is when I turn the grill off. So I like to make sure I turn it off for you guys when it feeds the last pellets out of the hopper. So after this, obviously, it would maintain that temperature a little bit longer and it would start to drop off. But just for consistency's sake, and we can use all this data, I like to make sure that when it feeds those last pellets, I go ahead and shut the Fireboard off. So that's what data we have here in front of us. So as we can start to review here, one of the things, if we go from the top to the bottom shelf, they follow in line pretty close, which is a good thing to have. You can see the bottom shelf gets a little bit hotter sometimes, but in general, we kind of look here. So there's a little bit of a gap here, 193 to 199. So you're talking a 6-degree gap there. This one's a little bit bigger, so 177 to 184. So you're talking about an 8-degree gap there. And that's really about the biggest gap we have. You can see here. So our bottom shelf and top shelf, 202 to 211. So you're talking about 9 degrees there. So about a probably 7-degree difference there most of the time between the bottom and top shelf, which is a pretty good average there. So we're going to go ahead and read into these temp swings a little more. So the first thing we're going to do is all of our grill manufacturers are going to recommend a 30-minute soak period. That soak period is going to allow the outside metal of the grill to get up to temperature and things like that. So these first couple of temp swings here, we're not going to measure. We're actually going to end up starting right here, and we're going to go bottom shelf, and we're going to go for that 193.7 there. So I'll pull my calculator up, 193.7, and then we'll find our bottom here. So 178.6, we'll call it. We're going to go 178.6. Oh, there was a 178. 178.3. So we'll go minus 178.3, and we'll hit equals over here. So that's going to be a 15-degree temp swing. We're going to call it 15 degrees there for our first drop. So throughout here, you can see it. I mean, it comes up and it drops, and those could all be counted as temp swings if you really wanted to dig into the data. But really, we are looking for the larger temp swings in this grill. So this data here, we're going to let it be, and we're going to come to our next major temp swing, which is going to be this one here. So we're going to take that 210.1. So I'm going to clear my calculator. We'll take that 210.1, and we'll come down here to the bottom, and we'll call that a 175.7. So we'll take that minus 175.7. And that's going to give you the 34 degree change. So that'll give us a 15 degree change, a 34 degree change, and we'll come to our next peak. So that's a 211. So we'll clear the calculator and we'll go 211 here, and we'll come to the next valley. 185. It gets back up. So we'll come here and we'll call it the 185 because that's really where it drops and then it peaks back up there again. So we'll take that and we'll go minus 185. Minus 185. Oops, sorry, that's 175. So we'll do 211 minus 175. 175.3. So that's going to be, we'll call it 36 degrees there. So that'll be a 36 degree temp swing from here to here. So we'll go ahead and get the top there of a 194.9. Clear that 194.9. And we'll come down to the bottom here, and it's a 175.3. So we'll take that minus 175.3. So that's a 20-degree temp swing. We'll round it up since we're above 5 there. So that's 20. We'll come up here and get our peak on this little valley here. So we're going to go to a 202. So we'll clear out again, 202.5. And we'll subtract that minus the low here, which will be a 172.9. 72.9 equals. So we'll go with a 30-degree temp swing there. That was from here to here. So now we'll get the bottom shelf here. We'll go 198.2. So 198.2 minus our bottom, which looks to be, let me get the bottom shelf, 167. So we'll take that minus a 167, and that's going to equal 31. Okay. So we got a couple more here that we'll go ahead and do. So that one was 211.2 at the peak, 0.2, and a 177.8. So we'll take that minus a 177.8, and that's going to give you a 33-degree change. And we'll do this, we'll probably take this last one here, and we're going to call it a 208.9. Clear this 208.9. And we'll take it. Yep. So 208.9. Really, you could call it 191 there as the bottom. So minus 191 equals a 18-degree temp change. And I lied. We'll go ahead and take this one here. So bottom shelf's 198.5. 198.5. And we'll take this one at 168.1. So take that minus 168.1, and that's going to be another 30-degree temp swing. So to find the average of those for our temp swing average, we're going to go ahead and add all of those together, and we'll subtract it. So we'll take the 15, which was our first temp swing, plus the 34, plus 36, plus 20, plus 30, plus 31, plus 33, plus 18, and then plus another 30. So that is going to be our 9 temp swings that we went ahead and measured. So we'll go ahead and equals there. So that's going to be our 247. And then if we take that divided by the 9, that's going to give us our average. So on average with the Z grills here in its base format, we're averaging a 27.4 degree temp swing on the major swings. Now you're seeing a lot of these major swings in this base run, guys, because I do have it on the smoke setting. So we're going to go do a base run on 225, and then we'll look at the temp swings there. But some of these more volatile temp swings, I'm imagining, are probably because it's on the smoke setting. So just so we're clear there, this is a 27.4 degree change on the smoke setting on our Z grills in its factory format.